Okay, thank you very much for having me today. I'm not going to bore you with the slide presentation, but I just want to start off telling you about the vision. The vision of Good Samaritan Network, which is also our value statement, is that the Good Samaritan Network provides location, resources, organizational structure for facilitation, collaboration, coordination with services in our Hamilton County area to meet the physical, emotional, and spiritual needs of the at-risk community we serve. The reason I put the PowerPoint on is because I know the Rotary is going to be doing the slide presentations on their website, and you can download it to get more information about our organization. Right now, I just want to tell you the story about how Good Samaritan came about. It was the late 1940s, early 50s, and I was 4 years old. My sister was very ill, and my grandparents had a cabinet shop in downtown Noblesville by the Logan Street Bridge, right where the Judicial Building is today. Basically, what happened at that point was my mother made the decision to send me off with my grandparents every day to the cabinet shop to kind of get me out of the house because my sister was so very ill. So it was the best thing that ever happened to me because I spent a wonderful time with my grandparents and my two uncles that ran the shop. But on most days, I loved to watch the trains come through Noblesville. There was 8 trains a day at the corner of Logan Street and 8th Street, and they'd stop and I'd see all the activity. On this one particular day, my grandfather and I were standing in front of the picture window which displayed their wares, and I saw people, as the train stopped, jumping off. For the first time, I hadn't noticed that before. And they were walking down towards the Logan Street Bridge and disappeared under the bridge. And I said, "Grandfather, what are they doing?" And he said, "Well, they're waiting for the next train that will take them to their destination for work," because this was post-World War II and post-Depression. And he said, this is how they're going to be able to sustain their families. And I said, "Oh." And I must have been around lunchtime, being a kid. I said, "What are they going to eat?" And he looked at me and he said, "They aren't, unless you can think of something." I'll never forget that day. I thought for a while in front of that picture window as he left the room, and I walked out to my grandmother's picnic basket, which she had always had lots of food because downtown Noblesville didn't have restaurants at that time. And basically she had extra food all the time, and I said, "Do you have any extra sandwiches?" And she said, "Yes." She helped me cut them up into pieces, and I took them below the bridge. And I did that for the next 2 years before I started school. That was a life changer to me. A lot of people say 4-year-olds, they can't learn much. Oh yes, they can. Oh yes, they can do more than you can ever imagine. For 47 years, I've taught 4-year-old children in Sunday school because I really feel that those kids are the ones that are going to be our future of tomorrow. They do have the ability to make some of these kinds of decisions to take life in a different direction. My whole life, through high school, college, and into adult life, was helping people in many different aspects. I tried to make a big change in our community in many different ways. In 1980, I founded Good Samaritan in the form that it isn't in today. It's much more expansive. I took that vision and I started pulling people together to try to help network the holiday project for the county so there wouldn't be duplication of service, and I computerized it at that time. And today it's still computerized, and we've brought it up to the most recent versions of computer software today. What we did was non-duplication of service so that people got better care. Then I rolled off into 1989, and I founded Habitat for Humanity in Hamilton County. Then we rolled into 2000 or 1994, and then I pulled in all the agencies, which at that time were 20 agencies, 9 pantries, and 9 township trustees, and we met for a year and hammered out how we were going to handle Hamilton County. At that point is when we started Good Samaritan, but not as a 501c3. 2000, I started working towards a 501c3 because Legacy Foundation in the county was holding on to my funds, and I was doing a lot with the pantries. They said, "You need to do something that's going to make a difference. You've got the best idea since sliced bread." I said, "Okay, we'll do it." What has happened since then is we have networked from the 20 agencies into 254 agencies We've networked from the 9 pantries into 46 pantries. We've included 3 free clinics, 1 reduced clinic, 5 hospitals, and now we're at 289 churches. We're all working together for the greater good. We are in an entitlement program. Anytime we do any kind of outreach to anybody, they have to pay something to get something. If they need bills done, they have to pay a little bit towards their bill, which becomes a partnership. That's a whole different paradigm shift. Probably the hardest job that I have is selling the fact that we have need in Hamilton County. As he said in the intro, we have over 27,000 families in Hamilton County at risk. Many of those are middle class that's gone over the last 7 years and have fallen into the downward slide. They can't find jobs to replace the jobs they once had. So what has happened is we have had to try to march in some of the businesses, corporations, and money to get these people back on track. We've done that successfully over the last 8 years, but it's been the hardest job since Hamilton County is the wealthiest county in the state and the 5th wealthiest in the country. But we have huge pockets of need. And if we don't do something about it, it's going to be even worse. But I think it shows the success story of how we've been able to accomplish this goal together, better together, in the fact that we do not have any gaps because we communicate once a month. We have a meeting second Tuesday of every month, 3:45 to 5 o'clock at the public library. And in that program, we actually have guest speakers. We learn about new organizations. We learn about new innovations coming. We are training all of our agencies, pantries, and churches for disaster preparedness, not only a hard copy, but one that's in the cloud and one that's at EOC and one at Good Samaritan, because we said in EOC, in the middle of a disaster, we would be the front line. Good Samaritan and the agencies and pantries behind us would be on the front line of that recovery. So why is this important? This is where you live. A lot of you are Hamilton County residents, and you realize that this is an important part of recovery for your community as well as sustainability. So my big motto has always been, inch by inch, anything's a cinch. And a lot of people said it can't happen in some of these things that we've endeavored to do. Like the babe store I took over when Prevail could no longer handle that program. We've turned that around, and I did it through 5 high school students from 5 high schools in Hamilton County that I brought on board through Purdue Extension and the ACTS program, that they actually helped me produce a video that we're now taking out to show why the need is so great for baby items and babe store communications. Last year, I wrote a plan that people said, you can't do it, there's no way, hospitals won't buy it. Took a plan out for a partnership for Healthy Hamilton County. You can feed people all you want, but you also got to make sure they're eating the right things, they're sustaining good health. Most of those people do not know how to cook the healthy foods. We've got to start all over and start doing that. We also have to have measurable marked outcomes so that we can turn our county around and so that we can have sustainable figures that we can give the state so they can start seeing the true need. There is none going to the state to now. So I'm very proud of the partnership of Healthy Hamilton County, and I want you to make sure you go by that booth before you leave today, because it's the best idea that has come up for a long time. And I think we have really shown that we can do what we say we're going to do, and we can walk our talk. And I do thank you for allowing me to come to speak today.